Isaiah knew that secret, that this is an incorporeal universe in which you can have light without having sun. And of course, we can have everything we need without having baggage. Let us occasionally, as we face problems for ourselves or others, let us remember that it is not these statements of truth that we know and have in the back of our mind, but that the secret of our work is realization. It's all in one word, realization. But the realization has to be that the first chapter of Genesis is where we live and move and have our being, and that the sense world, that which we see, hear, taste, touch, and smell, is the second chapter of Genesis, or an unreal creation, a mental image in mind. Then, if we quickly remember that, we will not try to manipulate the scene or handle the dream, handle the mental image that exists only as a shadow within our thought. Now, I know this, that when you're traveling, baggage seems real, and I also know that most of the time our bodies seem real, because one thing or another brings them into our awareness. And because of that, there is the temptation to think of it as real. The body is real, just as real as the light in the first chapter of Genesis, or the crops that are in the ground before the seed is planted. But what we see as body, feel, touch, smell, that isn't body. That is a mental concept within our own thought. Actually, it's a universal creation, but it's individualized within us. To be able to heal, and really in order to be able to be healed, it should be clear to each one of us that we are never dealing with bodies or persons any more than we're dealing with lost baggage. What we're dealing with is the acceptance of this second chapter universe as if it were real. In other words, we're dealing with mental images and thought which we look upon as real. Spiritual baggage is just as omnipresent as a spiritual body, and you can no more be separated from your body than you can be separated from your integrity. Your integrity is a constituted part of your being, and it would make no difference if you mounted up to heaven, your integrity would be with you. And on the other hand, if you went down to hell, your integrity would be with you. And if you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, your integrity would be with you, and the body is just as spiritual as your integrity. There are no such things as material bodies. There are material concepts of body. There is no such thing as a material universe. There are material concepts of universe. Now, as long as we have that material concept of universe, we are under the laws of matter. As soon as we begin to understand I live and move and have my being in the first chapter of Genesis, where man is made in the image and likeness of God, of spirit, and the soul of God is the soul of man, the life of God is the life of man, the mind of God is the mind of man, the body of God is the body of man, because, know ye not, your body is the temple of the living God. Not as you see it in the mirror, but as it actually is. Now, to remember that in times of problems is to arrive at something that would bring the solution, just as my realization that we were no longer dealing with material baggage, but omnipresence, immediately awakened the one man who was necessary to the demonstration, awakened him to the idea of omnipresence. And right where he was, that's where he found the baggage. This can take us right into our meditation for healing work. Let's close the eyes a moment. I and my Father are one. I live and move and have my being in God. I must be of the nature of God. There cannot be a material creation inside of a spiritual being. And I am in my Father, and my Father is in me. Can I be finite, limited? How can I be finite or limited if an infinite Father is within me? The Father within me, he doeth the works. How can a finite, limited being have an infinite God, infinite Father within himself? Therefore, I must be as spiritual as the Father that created me. All being must be spiritual. All he, she, it. All must be spiritual. The Father and me, I and the Father, you and me, and I and you, and the Father and both of us. A wholly, completely spiritual creation. Into this creation, nothing finite can enter that defileth or maketh a lie. The only suffering that can be in this world is due to our looking around for a piece of material baggage, even expecting it to be in its right place. That is an error. There is no place for you or me or for any he, she, or it except in the only place where it's to be found, and that is omnipresence. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, I am. Where God is, I am. Where I am, God is, for we are one. The Father in me, and I in the Father. Omnipresence, the presence even of that which to human sense seems absent. Like seeing the cloudy sky and believing the sun is absent, when it's merely hidden. But it's there, omnipresent. So with us, the clouds of human belief, the density of human thought, can hide from us that which is omnipresent, that which is present where I am. What is it that's present where I am? All that the Father hath is mine right where I am. Integrity, loyalty, fidelity, eternality, immortality, justice, freedom, joy, harmony of any name or nature. All of this comes under the heading of omnipresence unless I finitize it and see it as a piece of baggage, something that occupies time and space. Just think. Nothing occupies time and space but our mental images. And the only reason they do is because we accept yesterday, today, and tomorrow. You know, the minute you rise above the mental realm of life, you will perceive that there is no such thing as time. Anyone who has ever made God contact, while they were in that experience, had no awareness of time. And the very strange thing is this, that sometimes that contact only lasts a half minute, but enough takes place in it so that when you come out and look at your watch, you're convinced that several hours must have gone by. And there are other times when that contact is made, when it would appear that something like a minute must have gone by, and when you look at your watch, find that 2 or 3 hours have gone by. In other words, there is no such thing as an awareness of either time or space in that consciousness. Now we are in the mental consciousness when we are thinking, when we are reasoning, when we are beholding anything as being thing or person. We are only in the spiritual realm when we transcend mind. Always people have sought for a way to transcend mind. It's usually called stilling the mind, and they find that it is an utter impossibility. The only ones who have achieved any measure of success in stilling the mind are certain yogi who have accomplished it by exercises, but the only thing they've discovered is that when they stilled the mind, they were a blank. They had not achieved spiritual consciousness. They had just achieved unconsciousness. Now, there is a way in which you can rise above the mental level of life, and I don't mean remain there permanently, because that requires years and years of devotion to this and nothing else. But you can accomplish rising above mind to such a degree that at least when you are in the world, it will no longer disturb you to any great degree. The way you can accomplish it is this. First, do not attempt to stop your thinking process. If your mind wants to think, you let it. And if necessary, sit right there and watch it as it works. It makes no difference what thoughts come in. Let them. Remember, they can do you no harm. They're only shadows that are flitting across your screen. Those thoughts have no power. Do not fear them. If you fear them or hate them, you will try to stop. If you love them, you will try to hold on to them. So I ask you, please, do not hate or fear any thought that comes to your mind. And certainly, regardless of how good it may seem, do not love it and do not try to hold on. Let these thoughts come, let them go. You just sit there and watch. Be a beholder. Shadows, that's all you're looking at. Shadows that flee across the screen, flit across the screen. No power in them, no substance, there's no law in them, no cause, no power, just shadows. If you like, you can call it the arm of flesh. Learn to be willing to face these thoughts. Some of them might be mighty sweet and you want to hold on to them. Don't do it. Sit back there and let them come and go. Some may disturb you. Some might be frightening. Let it. Let it. Remember, it's just thoughts. Just thought, nothing else. There isn't a revolver and a collar. There isn't an ounce of poison in them. There are no bombs in them, so don't fear them. They may testify to disease. They may testify to sin. They may testify to accident. They can get very frightening. Sit there and watch them come and go. And as you do, now take the next step. Realize to yourself, just think, there is neither good nor evil in what I'm beholding. They're just pictures without power. They can't do anything. They can't testify to anything. Neither good nor evil. And even if they seem to be good, they're not good because they're only pictures. You know, from this little experiment that we are doing here in this meditation, you can see why we have suffered. These pictures or thoughts have flooded into us and we have become frightened of them and began to run away from them, or hide our head under the pillow, or try to block them out. And here they are, inoffensive nothingness, just shadow. Sometimes they represent theories, man-made theories. Somebody says if you eat meat on Friday, you're going to get awfully sick, going to be punished, and after that The very taste of meat on Friday is enough to send you into a spasm. Somebody else says this is a holiday, a day of atonement, you can't eat anything. Know how you long for just a little bite. And there's your first guilt complex. And then if you should yield and eat a slice of bread and butter, there comes the conviction that you're under God's punishment and condemnation. And who made up these rules? They're man-made rules. They never had authority. They never had anything to do with man. Almost everything we fear is a man-made rule, man-made theory, and a man-made punishment is attached. So let's look at them. For this one testifies to infection and contagion. And this one testifies to false appetite. And this next one is a prophecy of disaster. This one is a fear of lack. And all they are, images and thoughts. Ah, yes, but here comes one. Somebody says it's cancer. That makes it terrible. Yes, it's a terrible name, because it has awful connotations. But it's only a name. It's only a name that Adam gave to something that he didn't understand. It's an image and thought. Let's stop being afraid of these names. Let us stop being afraid of these diagnoses. Even if it's a picture on an x-ray machine, don't be afraid of it. It's still a picture, and it's a picture of mind's image. And when you haven't got it in mind anymore, you can't get a picture of it. You only get a picture of what's being held in mind. Let it come, let it go. If you can see it, hear it, taste it, touch it, or smell it, it's an activity of mind, a mental image, the arm of flesh, nothingness. Remember that all the time that we are saying this and thinking this, we're still in the mental realm. We're still in the realm of knowing the truth. But as we continue this, and this is perhaps the same process that you may go through in giving a treatment, as you keep on this way, looking right at the picture, realizing it is a picture, no substance, no cause. If you can see it, hear it, taste it, touch it, or smell it, it's a mental image of mind, a nothingness, the second chapter of creation, that which God never made. We are not to fear what we can see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. Remember that regardless of how material the condition appears to be, it isn't any more material than my lost baggage. You see that it wasn't material, it was a mental image. The realization of that revealed omnipresence. Sometimes in these experiences, such as we are having now, some people get a very beautiful response in the sense that they're apt to see pictures or visions. And then they make the mistake, first of all, of trying to hold on to them. And then they make a second mistake of wanting to bring them back at some future time. Never do that. Never hold on even to a beautiful image. Let it go. It's only an image. And if it's of God, God can give you as many more as you need. And if it's a bad picture, learn not to be afraid of it. It has no existence, has externalized reality. A mental image, the arm of flesh, nothing. And then you come to a place where we are, and it seems like there's nothing more to be said. So we sit and we give one last word to it. Regardless of what you seem to be, you are neither good nor evil. No matter what you claim to be, you are neither good nor evil. There are no properties in you. All properties are in the consciousness that made this universe in its own image and likeness. Neither good nor evil, in any form or effect. And then wait. When you achieve complete quietness and peace, mind isn't functioning. That's when you have gone through the realm of mind and are in the atmosphere of spirit, of the soul. This is where you are receptive and responsive to whatever God imparts. As soon as you are unattached, as soon as you are detached from thought, from the hate, fear, or love of objects, so that they can float in front of your eyes with utmost indifference to you, that is when you are no longer in the realm of mind. You are now reaching, touching, or being touched by your own soul, which is God. God is the very soul of you. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. And when he utters his voice, the earth melts. All problems dissolve. And you're now in an atmosphere where when God speaks, you can hear it. Now remember, someone has called you and presented a claim to you. They just become ill. And so here you are in meditation, and your first thought is, whatever its name or its nature, if it exists in time or space, it is a mental image, a nothing. I do not have to fear it or fear for the person who's claiming it. It has no existence in their being, and as a mind existence, it is without form and void. I shall not fear what mortal conditions or mortal beliefs can do to me or anyone else. Yes, I'm looking right at you who phoned me. I'm looking right at the condition you mentioned, and I see it as a mental image, a shadow, a nothing. You have no more good or evil in you than the picture on the moving picture screen. Substanceless shadow. Relax. Relax.